Are you looking for the best rice cookers? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best rice cookers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Zojirushi NP NWC10XB Rice Cooker. This is the previously mentioned higher-end Zojirushi rice cooker that so many experts enthusiastically recommended. It is, notably, the most expensive on the list, but it's clearly a favorite and a worth-it investment if you eat enough rice. It has that same standout technology as the more affordable model, but the main difference is the many settings. Everyone who I talked to about it mentioned one in particular. This model I bought specifically because it has a kanji mode, says food writer and editor Elise Whitney. The one I had previously for many years only had Japanese porridge, which is thinner. So yes, I bought this for a button, but it literally makes perfect kanji. Recipe developer and cookbook author Betty Liu also makes a lot of kanji in hers, calling it convenient, fast, and incredibly reliable. And finally, TikTok recipe creator Vivian Aronson uses that feature too, particularly for breakfast. I can set it at night and have kanji ready in the morning, she says. Number 2. Pars Automatic Persian Rice Cooker. The Pars Persian rice cooker is built to do something particular and different from all the others on this list: make flawless tadig. Tadig is the ubiquitous crispy layer of rice at the bottom and top, when you turn it over, of many preparations of Persian rice dishes. It is also notoriously difficult to master. The goal is to end up with fluffy, separate grains of basmati underneath that crust, which must be evenly crunchy and beautifully golden brown. I'm an avid home cook, but rice was always tough for me, and that's part of why for a while I avoided cooking a lot of Persian food, says writer Arya Roshanian, who chronicled his foray into using the Pars for Vox last year. Funnily enough, his mom and grandmother both used one, and it was during the pandemic that he finally decided it was time to get one himself. In fact, he has 2 now, the smaller 4-cup he started out with, and a larger 7-cup he uses to make tadig for a crowd. It's user-friendly, he says, something that my 85-year-old grandma who only speaks Farsi and isn't that good at technology can figure out. The first time I used it I was thinking I would need to try a few times in order to get it right, but it came out pretty perfectly, and then each subsequent time, too. It regulates temperature so it never burns. The insert is lightweight, which is nice for turning over. I still oil the bottom a bit because tadig needs to be a little fried, but everything is non-stick so it's super easy to flip out and to clean. Number 3. Cuckoo CRPP 1009 SB Pressure Rice Cooker. Cuckoo rice cookers are the most common ones you'll see in Korean households. I bought one because that's what my mom and aunts use, says Joanne Lee Molinaro, better known as the Korean vegan. When you go to the Korean grocery store, you see a bunch of cuckoos all over the place. Molinaro uses hers, a slightly older but similar model to the one listed, primarily for brown rice, which she and her husband eat most, as well as mixed rice, the setting for which she uses every time she combines grains. With Korean rice, a lot of times it's not just rice, she says, explaining additives like soybeans, farro, pearl barley, and even chestnuts and sweet potatoes are fairly common. For food writer Justine Lee, who has the more recent model, the multi-cook setting is where it stuns. Multi-cook essentially turns the appliance into a pressure cooker, and allows you to adjust the time and heat level. Both are as easy as dialing the knob to set, Lee says. It's how I steam a bunch of Korean sweet potatoes right before road trips and quell my bean hankerings come summertime. I've even followed recipes fitted for a traditional instant pot such as cinnamon buns and yakbap, which can get sticky. But cleanup with this rice cooker is a breeze across the board. Number 4. Instant Pot Duo 67-in-1 Electric Pressure Cooker. It's no secret that the Instant Pot can do a lot. But strategist senior editor Jen Trolio primarily uses hers for rice, making it for her family of 4 at least once a week. She takes a stainless steel mixing bowl, fills it with equal parts water and rice, and sets it inside the Instant Pot on top of the wire rack the unit comes with. Then she puts a ½ inch or so of water at the bottom of the larger container, not covering the top of the rack. She cooks on high pressure for 4 minutes, then does the slow release for about 10 minutes, with a manual release if there's any pressure remaining at the end. With a little fluff, it's ready to go. It's nice to have the nearly set it and forget it convenience of a rice cooker that is also multi-purpose for pressure cooking, slow cooking, and so on, Trulio says. Obviously we could still do rice on the stove, but on top of the convenience, the Instant Pot can be shoved to the edge of the counter and not take up a burner. Number 5. KitchenAid Grain and Rice Cooker. This KitchenAid cooker not only turns out perfectly cooked rice but also makes it easy to cook other types of grains and beans to the ideal consistency every time. It was a recent find for strategist contributor Kiki Aranita and one she was surprised to love as much as she does. She already owns several dedicated rice cookers in various sizes and has still found this a useful addition to her kitchen, high praise. Aranita's first test was a long-grain brown jasmine variety that turned out just right, she says. The cooker features ultra-specific settings for 21 various types of grains and beans. While I haven't used it, these seem great to me. The Zojirushi I have will cook non-short grain rice well, but it takes a bit of googling and some trial and error to figure out exactly how to do so properly. Aranita says she hasn't soaked beans independently of the cooker since she got it, and every batch has come out at the ideal level of doneness, nary an overcooked, broken bean in sight. And she calls it absolute magic with quinoa.